Tippy time my damies, Top Cat here and welcome back to the channel. My mate Blitz wanted to see this build and I've been wanting to talk about this armor set for a while. The TwoFold crown armor we acquire from trials should be the very best crucible armor we can attain, but 9 times out of 10 I run 2-piece Bushido to heal on kills and 2-piece last discipline for those quicker reloads. But this kit is that 1 out of 10, the only TwoFold crown build I think is worth using. Being sneaky. Did. Where's another one? Did. The 2-piece perk Crook and Flail feeds us health back on ammo pickups. It's a lot more health than any other armor sets give us, but it should be because it's based on ammo though versus the actual kill. The ammo does have to be on the floor though, it can't be wall mounted. The healing is also tied to that health stat, and in Cruci I always try and have around that 150 mark. At 100 health we get that 10% flinch resistance that's so important in the Cruci. I then go to 155 health, giving us a bonus 15 points to our shield stat, and we're going to regenerate our health 34% quicker. I found this to be the sweet spot. Any more than that and we're going to be losing vital stat points elsewhere. This 2-piece perk though only really works if you're running a special weapon. Since I've fell in love with the Iron Wreath back in the Taken King, I've been a sidearm main, so unfortunately Crook and Flail doesn't really help me out here. But I do love the 4-piece perk. I kinda just really wish it was the 2-piece perk. It's called Gift of Sight, and with Final Blows, with our primary ammoed weapons, we're granted 5 seconds of increased radar resolution. So to fully invest in our radar, we're no doubt going to be using that knucklehead radar. This allows us to keep that radar up whilst we're aiming down sights, enhances our radar resolution whilst we're crouched, visually marks targets when we deal damage to those low health targets, increasing our damage output whilst providing a small amount of airborne effectiveness to all of our weapons, which comes in handy particularly when we're running our sidearms and SMGs in those close quarter duels. Be very quiet, we're hunting guardians. Where are ya? There's 1, 2, they're getting sick of my racking, I know it. I frickin' know it. Yep. I missed my shots. And oh wow, he swapped to the Rat King. Now I'm running Echo of Dilation. This 2 grants us that same level of enhanced radar resolution that the Knucklehead radar does, but this also allows us to duck walk faster than our other subclasses and affinities do. When reading that radar, it's important to know how these segments work. We've got that circle in the middle. When that glows red, that means we've got an enemy within 0 to 8 meters of us. Those pie slices in the outer circle mean that we have an enemy between 9 to 24 meters away. And we'll have a thin red line on the outside of the circle if our foes are between 25 to 49 meters away. Outside of 50 meters, you should be seeing no activity, just like a Preacher's Sheath. Now one of my favorite weapons this season inside the Crucible is the Arthur's Embrace. This has a new perk pool, so it can stand toe to toe with the Fang of Air Ute and the Unworthy. It is currently rated the number 1 260 RPM scout rifle in the game, and it too can be acquired from trials. I chose this as I wanted my primary to fold into my Void kit, where we use Echo of Starvation, so our Orbs of Power and Void Breaches grant us Devour, and we'll create those with Echo of Harvest when we defeat weakened targets. Now this weapon rocks with that fleet-footed origin trait, giving us both increased movement speed and airborne effectiveness when we deal damage, and this increases the effect when we land final blows, pairing perfectly with that Echo of Dilation fragment. In the left we've got 4 great Cruci perks of Rapid Hit, Keep Away, Eye of the Storm and Encore, but in the right, pretty much all 7 of these perks could be used inside the Crucible. For my money though, the strongest options are Precision Instrument. This perk is what makes both the Air Ute and the Unworthy so popular. It drops that TTK, giving us that 4 crit kill, but I've actually been enjoying it with Withering Gaze in the right hand column. This too can give us that 4 crit kill. We ADS for 1.5 seconds, the first shot weakens, taking that first shot from 55 and making the following 3 shots hit for 59. Now you might see that as the weaker option, no pun intended, than the Precision Instrument. But being we have such an active radar with this kit, I don't see it as a disadvantage, as it not only advances our time to kill, but all other allies that might be shooting at that same target, and it will seamlessly fold into our Void 3.0 Hunter Kit. Now if you're not a Scouty fan, which many of you aren't, I might look at replacing it something like an Exalted Truth from the Trials. It too can get some monster perks and can be enjoyed with the same level of Void. And if you're a special user, maybe look at chucking on that Chappie in the top slot to take full advantage of the armour. For me though, whenever I think Void Hunter, I go straight for that Rat King. Its perk Vermin will turn us invisible after we get a kill, and with the Catalyst it's going to improve our aim assist, the recoil direction, and it's going to refresh health back when we turn invisible off the back of those kills. Now it's not a performance thing, but I often love and choose weapons a lot based off the audio, and I just love the way that this puppy rattles off, clack 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 clack. For our aspects, I'm running Close Executioner. When we suppress our targets, weaken them, destabilize them, we are granted both invisibility and true sight. Now whether you're using the Exalted Truth or the Scouty, or any number of great weather engaged weapons, or a smoke bomb, we can just destroy and then get ourselves that true sight for the wall hacks. This lasts longer thanks to echo persistence. I also love using that corrective measure in the heavy slot, as we can gain those Close Executioners both off those destabilizing rounds and the withering gaze. Now in any hunter build in the Cruci, I want those max class stats. I know a lot of you Void Hunters out there love On the Prowl. It's a more aggressive form of invis, but we're often just like chilling out, reading the radar, scouting the map for our targets. I feel the Vanishing Step is a better option. We dodge, we go invisible. At 100 class stats, our reload dodge is a 14-second dodge in the Crucible. I'm now going to pair this with the Gambler's dodge. It has a 19-second cooldown. This dodge was changed in game a while ago, so we don't have to be next to an enemy to gain that full melee energy back. When I have no enemies in close proximity, I dodge, I get half that energy back, but when I dodge and I have an enemy next to me, when I have 85 melee points and double outreach mods boosting my melee cooldown by 8.5%, it's going to give us that full dodge back in just 4 seconds. Now generally I'm not all that concerned about how supers play inside the Crucible anymore. They all appear pretty balanced to me, but I do want 100 stats on it. We'll get that super first, make that first super play, and when we get 25 plus kills in a game, we're going to manage to get a second super in our 6v6 modes. The main reason we want 100 though is for those close competitive games and trials games. When they get down to the wire, it's 4v4 apiece. In that round you definitely want the super, not the other way around. To get these stats, I'm rocking 3 Bulwark, 1 Brawler and 1 Paragon. They're all tier 5. I'm not really worried about grenade stats. I don't really use them on our Void Hunters that much. And I'm not that worried about my weapon stats either, as we've got all those mods on our armor that kind of take care of everything in my opinion. Whether that be your targeting, flinch resist, reload, dexterity. They all worked fine before the new armor update and they still work well now. I'm curious if any of you guys out there, particularly you Titans and you Warlocks, are using that TwoFold crown armor. Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure to thumb it if you dug it, sub if you're new, and as always, tippy time my damies, what a tie.